What?
You don't want to say that I can't have 30 seconds on that. You had an issue with me. If you got an issue, solve it.
What issue you want to solve, Bobby? You're DQ.
What's up, everybody? I'm back with another video talking about Street Outlaws, fastest in America, the big race that JJ is holding for $100,000. And when they drew chips and we found out that it was going to be Texas versus NOLA, it was obvious to everyone that that was going to be the most exciting night. When it comes down to the end, NOLA versus Memphis, that'll be another exciting race. But this was obviously the two strongest teams that was there. And I don't even want to talk about why 405 wasn't there or anything. We're just going to talk about what happened last night on Street Outlaws, fastest in America.
Just because we're dumbasses don't mean you can be too. So don't do anything we do at home.
Public service announcement. These videos have the full intentions to be used as conversational tools and purposes only. Anything that is expressed in these videos and videos before and after has the sole purpose of that reason. I know a lot of this stuff is repetitive. I hope that you can understand that. Again, these are for conversational purposes only. The comment box on these videos is for that purpose. Thanks for watching. The first thing that I want to talk about, Kye Kelley being the leader for NOLA and Birdman being the leader for Texas, and a bunch of old blood there, bad blood, a bunch of just dirty things that was going on there. And when there was several different things happen, like Birdman not giving Bobby Cody a little extra time and things like that. He was talking about that NOLA had done him dirty in the past, and I'm sure that being a factor, but the biggest factor was this is for $100,000, and that is the main reason why he wasn't giving him any extra time. But JJ was instigating stuff, talking about if it was me, I would give you the time, and just kind of kept instigating everything. 2 races before the deal with Bobby, when they was trying to push Bobby's car to the line, 2 races before that, it was Kye, and then it was John Doe, and then it was supposed to be Bobby set up to race. And JJ, he kept saying, they're stalling, get them up here. And they was stalling for a good reason, 100,000 good reasons why they was doing that. There was nothing wrong with it. That was a loophole in the rules, and I know that loopholes in the rules and stuff like that is a touchy subject when it comes to Street Outlaws related stuff, with the first round call outs on No Prep Kings and things like that, but we're not even going to get into that. We're just going to talk about what happened. And Bobby was pushing his car up there. Granted, it was not running yet, but if he would have got in the water box, the time would have stopped. And I don't know if they had set another limit as far as to how long it would take him to do his burnout, but I do know that he would have been entered into the race. So, with that being said, he was trying to crank the car. Apparently the car was repaired. It just had not fired off yet. They was trying to change the plugs. He had fouled all the plugs, I'm assuming, from spinning it over so much or something like that. But they could have done that pretty quick. Even if Bobby could have got the car to crank on half power, he could have took the light and hoped that something happened. It would have been better than just a count out. But if you go back and watch it, when they was counting down, everybody was standing around the Texas guys and they was counting down real fast. They was 10, 9, 8, 7. They was not even giving it full seconds. As soon as they got down to 1, JJ points over at Team Texas and says, winner. Bobby Cody didn't take it very good and can't understand why, and went to confront Birdman about it. He looked at him and said, I thought we was friends, or you're one of them fake friends, or something along them lines. And when Birdman said, I'm not your friend, let's get that straight, and went for his neck, he started with a right. And if he would have connected with that right cross, he would have laid Birdman out right there. Done. That's it. Game over. Lights out. Move to the next one. That hit would have been life-changing for Birdman. There wasn't nothing funny about getting a fight there. But the funniest part about it was right here.
So when he grabbed me by the neck, I just lost my cool and I had to put these hands on him. And I kept his shoe.
When he held up Birdman's shoe, I about fell out on the floor. That was hilarious. The way he delivered that message about having it, it was hilarious. Later on the night, JJ got them both up there, made them shake hands, kind of hugged, and, said, let's leave it on the street. After it was all over with, Texas did congratulate NOLA. Next thing I want to talk about is the deal with Kye Kelley and Eric Bain. And my personal opinion, and I'll put the picture on the screen right now, but my personal opinion is Kye Kelley won that first race. I did see the argument. It was really close. The furthest point on Kye's car is at the very bottom at the chin spoiler, and on Eric Bain's it is the top, and Eric Bain's is black, so it was harder to see it on camera. If I would have been the finish line man, I would have called it Kye Kelley, and it would have probably ended up being the same outcome as it was. But when the shocker was about 400 foot out, if you look, it lost all power. They didn't address it on the show last night, but the flames cut off, the car cut off, everything happened. Eric Bain was fixing to come around him. Another 10 foot, and he would have had the win for sure, but he run out of real estate, and I personally think Kye won that race. A lot of people seem to feel the same way, but the second race, Kye put a humongous gap in him, and Eric Bain was completely humble.
Yeah, that's all I wanted in the end. It was a clean winner or loser.
Kye Kelley had put together one hell of a team, and there was cars we didn't even get to see. White Zombie was there, stupid fast race car. Swamp Thing making A to B passes. The Godfather pulled off one of the best passes that I've seen from him, or just a pass on the street, in a long time, and it was fast. When Kye Kelley went to make his second list of 6, putting him at the bottom, I feel like was not a good move, because they wouldn't even have got that far if Kye Kelley would have put his heavy hitters at the top and let the cards fall. Bird Brothers, if you remember when Kye had his own show, Street Outlaws New Orleans, they kept having problems with the car, not wanting to go straight, and it looks like the same situation was happening there. There was a lot of cars that had come straight off no prep and come to this. Like I said, this happened in August. So that is when no prep was actually still going on. These cars was trying to transition from the track to the street, and you could see who had done their homework and set their car up for the street. With that being said, you can also see which cars and which drivers had street setups that they knew to go back to put the car in. Kye's talking about putting his smaller motor in there, and Kye has raced on the street enough that he knows where a good starting point is for any street with the shocker, and it showed with him laying down the fastest pass that Memphis has ever seen. It will be NOLA going to the finals against Memphis, and I don't want to get into why this happened or why that happened. I just want to say that there's pictures of the shocker lined up against Old Heavy in the streets of Memphis, and if that wasn't proof enough that NOLA is going to win the bracket to be able to race Memphis, what is? But one of the biggest things that I thought was cool about the first race night and last night was it went all 13 races to find out who won. And there's a lot of stuff that happens in there that made it more entertaining to the audience. The first week of the show, it come all the way down, and then the guy blocked, he jumped, and then hit the brakes again and stopped, and then just took off, and the guy took off behind him. Same deal with that race as it was with Kye Kelley and Eric Bain. 10 more feet, and he would have lost, but that 10 feet, that was in the track, that's all that matters, takes home the W. One more thing, like I mentioned a while ago, kind of coming from no prep, Scott Taylor and the Bird Brothers, they brought out their old street cars, the original Probe, the one that they had for the streets, and also Scott Taylor brought out John Doe, his street race car. And if you remember, it was back and forth between Kye and Scott when the show was going on, and that's actually one of the reasons why the show went off, is because they couldn't get along and decide who won and all that. But they're getting out of another car and getting into it. Yes, that was their car originally. They know everything in and out, but it still takes a minute for them to get used to it, and I want to say that that was part of why they was having so many issues, why John Doe wouldn't go down, why the Bird Boys couldn't go down. I want to contribute their losses to that, but they had some tough competitors with Texas. It was a exciting night of racing. I do feel like that it was the most exciting that it's going to be until the finale when they race Memphis. But So much happened. I could drag this video out for 30 minutes talking about stuff that happened. Bobby Ducote putting them hands on Birdman, the way it all happened, wasn't funny, but it was hilarious. But Bobby Ducote's getting a bad name for himself out there to a lot of loyal people who like people like Larson and Farm Truck and Birdman. And while his reasons for putting his hands on them is, you know, somewhat justified, it is what it is. There's a lot of people that's going to not like him for that reason, but in that world and what they're doing with $100,000 on the line, sometimes you got to man up and sometimes you just got to man. It didn't make no difference to me. I have nothing against Bobby. I like his personality. I like his character that he plays on the shows. So no skin off my back, and I thought it was an interesting part of the show. It's hard to believe that the very last race, the one that decided who won, who lost, come down and ended like it did. The guy from NOLA was super disciplined to not let off the button and tear out and chase Cantu. He didn't, and you could watch when everybody from NOLA figures out what happens, they just go crazy because they know that they had won. They thought something had happened and the guy just didn't take off. But super disciplined, sat there, waited, and did not chase him. It was a win, the 7th win, and that's what gave NOLA the win overall. NOLA's going to race Memphis, and I couldn't tell you who wins there because it's going to come down to whose car is ready that night. You got to think, all of Memphis's cars are sitting right now on ready, on kill, ready to go. They're not beating the crap out of them in the streets every night, and NOLA is. Granted, NOLA has brought down a lot more cars than what you have seen on the show so far, but if they start breaking cars and cars getting broke and they have to bring in these cars that aren't making these test passes, what's that going to do to the fastest ones that Kye has to choose from when Memphis is sitting there with all his ready? So it's going to be interesting. Can't wait to see what happens, but I'm going to end this video right here. Anything you want me to know, say, do, or have, the email address is on the screen. The P.O. box is also on the screen. And the comment box is open, guys. If you like this video or these type videos, hit the like button. Thank you for watching. Godspeed, and I'll see you in the next video.
Man, that's some straight.
What?
You don't want to say that I can't have 30 seconds on that. You had an issue with me. If you got an issue, solve it.
What issue you want to solve, Bobby? You're DQ'd.
No,
What else you need to
they was
know?
up there pushing it.
Pushing what? Oh, I was pushing that you should be DQ'd. Yeah, I was. You need to be DQ'd. You weren't there on time. What's
How
the
many
problem?
times you got extra time?
Never.
You lying.
No, sir. No, sir. Y'all cheated me before. You know you did.
So you want them fake ass brag like a friend, huh?
I ain't your friend. Let's get that straight.
We ain't friends.
Get up! Watch out, watch out. Watch out. Stop. Stop, guys. Come on, stop. Stop.
Man, we worked our asses off. I feel like I got cheated. I thought we was friends, you know. We always been cool. I used to look up to the man. Well, I go over there, we get in a little argument. Dude chokes me like a So when he grabbed me by the neck, I just lost my cool and I had to put these hands on him. And I kept his shoe.
I thought y'all were about to talk it out, and all of a sudden he just.
I thought we was better than that, and I really don't want to touch an old man like that.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah,
So I felt bad. But when he grabbed me like this, I didn't do it.
We need to pull it together, though. Barry's got a race, man. We gotta get this back.
Bobby's all bowed up and pissed off. He's a little. He got up in my face. I felt like he was going to hit me, so I put my hand on his throat to push him back, and then sure enough, he comes swinging and grabbed me. Tussled on the ground. No big deal.
Come in here.
Whew.
Go, go.
Get him back.
Go. Come on.
Get him out of here.